Hello. I don't know how this is going to turn out. This is my first ever attempt at trying to make any sort of video. But it's the philosophies of nihilism and especially antinatalism. They get a bad rap, I think. It started with Kierkegaard and then Nietzsche, and just moved on from there. And you get those guys go into Camus, and he gets into absurdism. And I'm not here to first year philosophy student. I don't think I ever actually took a philosophy class. I think I did at the community college, but it's just worth reading and studying on your own. Kierkegaard lived a fascinating life. He really lived as a fucking hedonist up until he kind of discovered his way. He found his way. He did a lot of, the thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. He had a lot to say about that. It was fascinating. But as far as antinatalism, it gets a bad rap. The basics of it can be harsh, and they're harshly said that, it's with it being so connected to nihilism, the whole concept of life comes from nothing, means nothing, and is going nowhere. That doesn't negate you, your existence, my existence, anyone's existence. It's just, there's no inherent meaning to anything. Thinking that there is meaning, or looking for meaning, and trying to find meaning. Albert Camus said that was absurd. I disagree. That is all. If nothing has inherent meaning or value, then to search and find your own, I think that's a fairly worthy goal. But my problem is with sapient thought, humanity being what it is, cruel, despicable species. If I may, I just wrote this 5 minutes ago, so I don't even know how this video is going to turn out. I'm like, how do you like these things? All these YouTubers do so good, and they're monetized. I don't know anything about that shit. This is the solution to the actual human condition. It starts differently and changes. Just bear with, please. A pretty girl's going to come in at the end and maybe show her boobs. So just stick around. I don't even know how to edit this on a Kindle. That's all I have right now is a Kindle. I don't even know if I can edit the video. It isn't a hatred of all those livings. It's an animosity and anger toward the condition in which we find ourselves, id est, consciously and sapiently self-aware, and from that comes all despair. From thence we find despair, greed, blood, and lust, and all those wonderfully human drives. It doesn't balance even with love, which I essentially term, it's chemical. Love is an evolutionary necessity, and it's a normative socialized behavior. That's what love is. It's the chemicals in your brain make you feel one way. There's that evolutionary drive to love your children and protect them. And then there's the whole, what we do as part of Hobbes' social contract. We all signed the contract. So, it doesn't balance even with love or compassion. And what does this compassionate act bring to or for the compassionate one? What good might accrue to them for their deed? So, essentially saying that, I go on to say something about altruism, which I don't think exists, but what is compassion? We're all, when we do something compassionate, when we donate food, when we help an old lady cross the street, it makes us feel good. We do it for whatever that, or for social recognition, or what do they call that thing now? I've heard, it's like it's something that people like on Twitter, they're showing that they're good at something, or they're good people, I don't know. I've heard it a couple of times, I really don't know. Or altruism. Okay, so we've got love, compassion, or altruism. I posit that true altruism exists not in nature nor in society. So what then? What of this scale's lack of balance? I say, even off the boards. And to find what one will, one must take steps of their fucking own. Here we get into it. I don't want to be the beast that devours the world, to cleanse this postage stamp of the universe of all aberrant life. Because I posit that life is the aberrant condition. Look at our solar system. We've got 8, 9 planets, but the heavenly bodies in our own solar system, only one has life. We search for life in the universe, find nothing. Life is the aberrant condition. It took 5 billion years of this planet for us to get to this point. Life didn't start until 2 billion years in, and I'm sorry for Christians, 6,000 years. That's how long. But in the universe, even if there is a life and billions of life forms, it's still mostly infinite empty space. The matter of the universe is finite, but the space is infinite, and within those little pockets of life that may exist, as huge as it is, what does it matter then? I say that life is an aberration. This universe works wonderfully well without anybody here to observe it. It just goes on, and it's a beautiful mechanical, chemical reaction. The whole thing. Thermodynamics are wonderful, you know. And think about what would a universe look like if one of the laws, everything else is the same, gravity, everything. If one of the laws of thermodynamics was different, what if instead of heat dissipating, heat coalesced? I think that would be interesting. I'd just like to see what that's like. So, you know, academically. I don't want a beast that devours the world, to cleanse this postage stamp of the universe of all aberrant life. I don't want women to become infertile. I want our species to understand, to make this decision, that our children will be the last generation. My dream, that we have one last century, and that we enjoy it. We cut the bullshit as best we can. Why invade somewhere when you'll be the last one to see it? What does own matter when you'll be the last one to own it? Why spur on conflict when there will be no other generation to carry on a senseless, unending, unceasing battle? If we stopped, we could possibly do away with the petulant, pedantic wars of religion. Maybe. I mean, it just, the bullshit, stop it. Is it worth killing somebody? Not when you're going to be the last one. You know, they say our children are how we live forever. Well, let's give our children fantastic lives. I don't have children. That would really make me hypocrite. I don't think I should procreate. If we end our race, truly embrace this finality of the species, knowing that there is no tomorrow, might we all calm the fuck down? Could this not breed peace, an enlightenment the world has never known? There are no more resources to kill over, there are no more resources to kill and war over. For if you have the resources to wage a war, then you have the resources to take care of your people and let them live in prosperity and peace. It can be done. That's, yeah, I'll get to it. Please, let the last old man, the ultimate man, turn off the lights and then pass in peace, having lived a long, full life, never having known hunger, war, or violence. He is lonely at the end, yes, but as he lays in his comfortable bed, ready to breathe his last, he may think back and live those last moments of consciousness, remembering the love, the plenty, the joys he felt in what must have been the most holistic and pure and true and fulfilling life ever lived. He dies happy, and we as a species have succeeded. We lived for a time, and then we passed. What was the quality of our lives? That is the measure. Here's the rub. What was the quality of our lives? What was the quality of the lives of those around us? And we don't have to be assholes about this. I think if we poured all these resources into just enjoying that last century, it doesn't fall to a bacchanal or hedonistic craziness everywhere. It wouldn't. It doesn't have to. Just, we could live. Stop breeding. The end, the finality of a species, need not be wrapped in pain and fire and disease and destruction. We can choose. What other species has ever consciously and cognizantly chosen to go the way of the dodo? Think about this. Our species will end one way or another. I've read from very brilliant men that the chance of the human species at this point, technologically, with the conflicts we have with religion, all that, the chances of us making it another 1,000 years is about 1%. I'm sorry about that. Fucking hair is crazy. So why? Why, when we do end, must we destroy the planet, kill every living thing, melt Twinkies, kill cockroaches? We let some disease loose, fire falls from the sky. Why would we want that to be our end, having not known it was coming, versus having made a choice as a species, having said, all right, we're going to end it here. We're going to stop procreating, and we're just going to pour everything we have into making life as wonderful as it can be, and let us all move on to oblivion thereafter. We make no difference in this universe. We can make a difference to each other. We can spend that last generation of people in peace and prosperity. Nobody wants that. That's not what governments are set up to do. One of the defining characteristics of a government is its ability to levy taxes. That is, and you look at Hedley Bull's definition of war, organized political units fighting for the destruction of one another. I mean, should that be what our species is after? I posit no, it shouldn't be. Let's just enjoy it. Instead, are we going to see an asteroid coming from the sky, barreling down of us? People are terrified. Other people are raping and pillaging. It's like that really good Australian film, These Final Hours. I mean, yeah, we're going to throw a big party there as the meteorite, asteroid, whatever you want to call it, comes barreling to Earth. Or we could have lived in peace with one another, deciding we're not going to procreate. There is no tomorrow, so enjoy today. Taking land doesn't matter. Property really doesn't matter as long as you have enough to provide for you and yours. What else matters? Let's take the further horizon out of the equation and put one artificially and cognizantly right in front of us. 100 years, we could be gone. Anyone who watches this is going to be dead in 100 years. But you're going to keep breeding and your children will breed, and then it's just going to carry on, and the despair that comes from life. Let's just make the choice to enjoy it. Just my idea. Had it like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, the Schopenhauer and Zappfe, those guys. Yeah. Anyway, sorry I'm a little shaky. It's chilly in here. I'm right on the fan. We can carry on as we are, and our species' end will be at our own hands. Our hands gripping a scythe, a sword, a gun, a button, a glass vial holding the 4 horsemen disease, created in a lab that'll end us all. Or we can choose life. I know it's like for a nihilistic antinatalist guy, it's kind of hallmarky. We can choose life. I mean, but really, this is what it is. You're choosing quality of life over a continuation of a broken system with selfish little creatures that just eat and procreate. We can choose life, our lives, our already born children's lives. Let us all live in paradise. Yes, problems will still arise. People are superstitious, violent, stupid, and greedy. But with that final horizon chosen, we'll all be better off. So do not despair. And as Giacomo Leopardi said at the end of his nothing lives that is worthy, thy agitation in the earth deserves not a sigh. Our being is pain and boredom, and the world is dirt, nothing more. Be calm. I love how he ends that. Be calm. There's no reason to despair. But that's the layout of my idea at this point. I don't know if anybody will see it. I don't even know how to upload it. I don't know. I uploaded like a fan music video back in like 07 or something. Dropkick Murphy. That's what anyway. Before they monetized. My hope for our ending is not born of hate, nor will it be soaked in blood. I do this for love and the peace and prosperity, and oh, what a party that last generation will have. Hey, still believe in God if you want, if that helps you to behave. You think when you die you'll go to heaven. Fucking great. You don't have to convert anybody else, just since we're the last ones, let's... No reason to... Anyway, I'll get into it. But no more fighting with other religions or hurting in any way those of your own flock. I know Christians pray for Armageddon, Revelation. Let's make it a party instead of a war and a cleansing of the heathens. I mean, really, that's what they want. They want all the Jews to return to Israel. Some of those crazy sects of Christians out in the South, where I am, in the Midwest, they think that there's some end game that is like a video game or something. Like you get all the Jews back in Israel, and like Syria attacks and from the north. It's in the book, but how they interpret it. But hey, let's not do that. Yeah. Let's make it a party. Let's live, all of us, 60, 70, 80 more years, whatever, in peace and prosperity with plenty to eat. Let's take care of people. Hey, all the starving Africans, if we're all going to be the last generation, we got plenty of food for everybody. When you stop having to plan for tomorrow, today gets a little bit better. But just my basic thoughts. I'm sorry for my speech impediment. I got fake teeth. Yeah. Bad. But yeah, I've been through enough. A lot of loss I've felt. And a lot of pain, and that's just life. But I would spare offspring that. So I have not. The certain conditions of human life that lead to despair are pretty clearly laid out. I just kind of wanted to record this, and I don't know if I'll put it up there. I'm going to YouTube. just doesn't make sense to me. Do we want our children, our children's children, their children, our descendants of 10 generations from now, do we want them to keep with the suffer and the struggle? Things probably aren't going to get better. They're probably going to get worse. Climate change, we fucked the planet, had our chance, fucked it. Let's just not, like, today, no more children born. Pregnant women, go ahead. I mean, no more pregnant women. No more creating new pregnant women. How about that? I mean, it's like the book and the film Children of Men with Clive Owen. Women become infertile and the world goes to shit, because without children, there is no tomorrow. And no tomorrow causes us to panic. But if we made that choice, ourselves, if we had the power, then it wouldn't hit us as a surprise. Just, God. I don't want women to become infertile. I want us as a species to wisen the fuck up. It just doesn't. You souls of geese that bear the shapes of men. Coriolanus. I don't know, it's just written here. I'm looking for something. I don't know if I'll find it. Consciousness. Consciousness of the self-reflecting... Jesus, old man. Consciousness of the self-reflecting human is an aberrant condition as far as living creatures. It is a biological paradox. Cognition and self-awareness, some terms sapient thought, are antithetical for survival. Survival is all that is required of any species. We are the only species aware that it is destined to die. Yeah, I know whales, some dolphins, porpoises, elephants. Come on. You know what I mean. Like, don't be a pedant. Get all stuck up in the minutiae of things. Our species is the only one aware that it is destined to die, a fine realization. It is an inevitability which is useless to ponder. The fact that we can study our pasts so as to make predictions and form expectations of our futures creates an expectation and desire for justice and meaning in a world where neither occur, and we are owed neither. Ergo, our consciousness ensures that our lives are miserable. Realizations of our own lives and our own being are tragic, morose, fearful, and painful. Aren't they, though? Like the fact that you can think about yesterday and you can worry about tomorrow. This thought we have, it's perfectly explained in Nietzsche's The Happy Cow little thing he wrote. Yeah, it's academic, but it makes total sense. A cow is the most happy, nihilistic creature on the planet. Its future is no further than the tip of its nose as it grazes, and its peripheral vision. Anything beyond that doesn't matter. So he lives in a perfect little bubble, existing purely in the moment, and that cow is happy. Cow doesn't have to ponder. Our lives and our own being are treasured members. Our species still and only exists because we limit our awareness of what that reality actually entails. Thus we create a tangle of defense mechanisms which in turn only further stymies our search for meaning, truth, and happiness. We must cease. What did I do? Oh, I'd like to change the light on it. We must cease the self-deception. Our only recourse, our gradual extinction. Last one to die. Please turn out the lights. That's essentially it. I don't know if I'll ever make more videos or if I'll even post this one, but it's like 4:30 in the morning, and I was just up. I just wanted to share how part of my philosophies. I don't understand people have a soul guiding philosophy. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, your philosophy comes entirely from one book? Okay. Mine comes from 1,000 books written by 100 brilliant men, smarter than I can comprehend. Man has no concept of what man has no concept of. So, I ponder. But what these men wrote, I collect in little tidbits, and this makes sense, and that makes sense, and I synthesize it all, and it just flows together, and it changes. My belief system is fluid, dynamic, and it changes. 35 years it took me to get to where I am. I'd like us happy. And I'd like us just to end. It doesn't... We have no purpose. There is no purpose here. So why fret about it? How about... And this isn't hedonism. When I say enjoy yourselves, if it's the last generation, find what makes you content and happy. And whoever that old man is, the last one lying in his deathbed, ready to pass, I think he'll be a happy man laying there, thinking back on a life that was filled with so much. And that moment before he dies, that moment lasts a long time, from what I'm told. I don't know. This is just really basic, and my attempt at putting out there that which I believe. And for a long time, yeah, I'll admit, it was really kind of hateful. I was just angry and at myself, psychiatric problems. Go figure, right? And lots of things. Drug addiction was a big problem because I just wanted to turn off the noise and hear, even for 30 seconds at a time, which is what it was. But the price was too high. Going to the dance and picking a partner. But, so it's not anger anymore. I was just looking to add a van. But yeah, so that kind of was a little bit of a break, because usually my, let's end the fucking species was born out of, I watched the news, and Jesus Christ, Rwanda in, 96 damn near killed me. I cried so much. Every time I read Time or Newsweek, I cried. The photos in it. They killed, at least 600,000 Tutsis with machetes. The United States didn't do anything because Bill Clinton had a hostile Congress, and after the whole debacle of Somalia, anyway, it's not born out of hate anymore. It's just wake the fuck up, people. Love your children. If your children have children now, love them all. They're your family. That is something. But after that, we just need to stop and enjoy that last generation. Honestly, if I had the power to snap and do it and just put that one thought in everybody's head, I wouldn't make women infertile. I want it to be a choice. I want to put that thought in heads and let them understand. And I'm sorry, I do such a poor job of vocalizing or putting to words my thoughts. I can read, I can think about what I read, I can write about what I thought about. I can defend what I wrote. I don't know, I'll put some more time into it, and see, that's why I smoke cigarettes. Kurt Vonnegut, brilliant fucking man, really. You got to get deep into his stuff. There's some fascinating, the Tramladorfians were. That's amazing. These alien creatures that can live in any moment of their lives. They see their lives as a ribbon, and it begins and it ends, but they can choose to live in any moment of their lives. I think Tramladorians, something like that. Yeah, that'd be good. If that were heaven, I would take that. There are some moments in my life, as I think there is for many of us, but not all. So that makes it unfair. I just don't know. We'll work on this. Tell me what you think. mash that. Mash that like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm sorry. Everybody says it. It's just weird. Well, I appreciate you if somebody actually stumbles upon this and actually listens to it. Thanks. I'm going to put up another video. I'm going to actually try to edit things, and I'd like to make a channel that kind of explains and discusses philosophy, and it's not going to be hip or like with lots of graphics and stuff, but if we can talk, if we can have a didactic interaction, that'd be great. Let me know what you think. Whomever.